Here's 29 quickfire tips to make you better at go-karting. Tip number 1, get comfy. Make sure you're comfortable in your go-kart. If you are not, you're going to be slow. Tip number 2, make sure your seat position is as far back as you can reasonably go while still being able to press the pedals. This will allow you to have more weight over your rear axle, which will provide more grip to the steering. Tip number 3, practice pressing the brake. At most go-karting tracks, they will conduct a brake test to make sure you can press the brake firmly. Tip number 4, always follow the lights and rules of the track. Tip number 5, use the outlap to get familiar with the track. Tip number 6, understand the surface. If it is dark and blackened, it means rubber has been laid down and there will be lots of grip. Tip number 7, only warm your tyres if you're allowed to, but if you can, do this as it will increase your grip on the first couple of laps. Tip number 8, if there's a red light test, don't slam on your brake, you will spin out. Just depress the brake pedal firmly but smoothly, reaching 100% brake pressure after about 1 second. Tip number 9, don't brake and turn at the same time, this will cause you to spin. Always brake in a straight line if you can. Tip number 10, when you're building up to race pace, please be careful of other drivers. They might not understand how to control their go-kart, and you need to be aware of them at all times. Section 2, Racecraft. Tip number 11, when you're planning an overtake, watch the driver you are trying to pass and identify their weak corners. When they make a mistake, capitalize on it and make your move. Tip number 12, dive down the inside. If a driver leaves the inside of a corner undefended, go for an overtake. This is especially effective on hairpins and tighter corners. Tip number 13, the 50% rule. For public sessions, if you are 50% alongside the opponent's go-kart, you are allowed to overtake on their inside. Just stay vigilant for their changing direction. Tip number 14, improve using faster drivers. If you see a faster driver out on track, follow their line and improve your own line. Tip number 15, never let a mistake distract you. If you make a mistake, ignore it and crack on. Don't keep thinking about it, as this will impair your driving. Tip number 16, the most important one of all, subscribe to GUI Racing. I have many educational videos and entertaining videos on my channel, and so tap on that subscribe button would be absolutely terrific. Tip number 17, if another driver overtakes on the inside and pushes the driver wide, you can follow the overtaking driver through and complete an overtake with them. Tip number 18, bump drafting. If you're racing outdoors and have a slower kart with less straight line speed, wait till a faster kart behind you approaches and let them bump you down the straight as you give them a slipstream. This is called working together. And if you tap the back of your helmet, they should understand if they're a seasoned driver and they should bump you down the straight to give you a straight line speed boost. Tip number 19 and section 3, advanced techniques. Use the brakes to rotate your kart on a slippery track. If you tap your brakes and turn gently, the weight of the kart will transfer to the front and you will have more grip to rotate the kart. Tip number 21, use a GoPro to film your races and analyse your footage. Tip number 22, join the K-Tips Academy. He does weekly track help sessions which are free, and he will review your footage or track map and give you tips to improve. Tip number 23, ask the marshals about member sessions, and if you're racing with higher quality drivers, learn from them and you will see a rapid improvement in your racecraft. Tip number 24, if you flick your steering wheel on the entry to corner, this will help with the understeer if you have a bad kart. Tip number 25, always be well rested before an important race. Getting a good night's sleep is incredibly important and will boost your focus. Tip number 26, acquire your own gear. If you're able to, racing in your own kit is so important because you feel comfortable in it. And the first thing you should buy, which is tip number 27, is gloves. These are your direct contact with the go-kart and these are incredibly important. Tip number 28, visit different tracks and learn different types of corners. This will broaden your knowledge and your ability to drive well. Tip number 29, and this is the most important one, enjoy the journey and have fun. And if you did enjoy this video or found any of these tips valuable, a press on the subscribe button would be absolutely fantastic. We are pushing to 2K, and if you want to, you can also like the video to let me know you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.